Hey, we're Saints Father Chris here. Welcome to our Crucifixional live stream. Glad to have you beautiful people with us. I'm glad you're with us today because I think I need you today. I'm gonna share some dirt. I mean, it's just I don't know if I should, but I'm gonna do it anyways. We've been talking this week about feeling dissonance. Yesterday, Greg talked about losing the battle of life and all of the chaos that we feel. I am supposed to talk today about fear. That's on our agenda, and maybe I'll get there. But really, I wanted to talk about what Greg talked about yesterday, really from my own perspective. And here's where I confess perhaps too many things, but like I just feel like I'm losing the battle of life right now. And I have a great life, and I'm thankful for all of the blessings that God has given me. But like, look, I'm gonna tell you. So I own a small property, and oh my gosh, we have a leak on the roof that I just paid $6,000 to repair. That's not all, because there's a leak in pipes underground that I now also have to dig up and repair because waste is coming back into one of the tenants' yards. I've got a staffing issue going on in the parish, which is not the end of the world, but we've got to resolve some issues. I've got a child who's in college and is now asked to go for spring break to Europe with her roommate, and we're probably going to let her go. It's a great experience, but at the same time, it's like, oh my God, my kid going to Rome by herself without any parents, right? Like, that's a heavy one. I mean, I've got some health issues. I'm not dying, but thank God. But like, my eyes have some issues right now, and to put it in short, when I try to sleep, they get so dry that the pain becomes ridiculous, and so it like actually wakes me from sleep. So I'm not sleeping good. I'm lucky if I can get 1 hour in a row before I have to start again. To combat that, I've made the very poor decision to drink alcohol and in great quantity before I go to bed, so it makes me go to sleep so I can sleep through and fight through that. And let me tell you, that ain't no good. And the last part of all of it, I look at my calendar and it's ridiculous. My calendar is so full. Our parish here is so large, and Greg and I alone just can't do it. We're given 1,000%, but we can't do it. And now I've got people whining because, well, you don't spend time with me, and this isn't it, and I need you here, and you're so busy. I hear that all the time. Drives me crazy. Father, you're so busy, and they use it as a slur against me to kind of dig and say, you're not giving me the time I want because you're so busy. Well, we are. Look, I told you a few months ago or a few weeks ago at the beginning of January, I took my first family vacation with my girls in 8 years. Do you understand how stupid that is? I mean, 8 years until we've had just an unadulterated family vacation. That's ridiculous. Not fair to them, not fair to me, not fair to people we teach. It's like I'm freaking losing, right? That's how I feel. And things are probably not as bad as I make it seem, but that's what I feel. Do you understand? And I feel like with all that God has set me to do and all of the tasks that he wants me to accomplish and the gospel to preach, I'm losing. And this battle, which life is a battle, I'm on the losing side. And, I don't know if you guys understand that in your own lives. I'm sure you probably do. And as I mentioned on Monday, I've been working hard to find ways to get through all of this stuff. Part of it is I've been working harder and just more, sleeping less, partly because of my eyes, but partly because I got more to do. And as a warrior saint, I'm all about hard work and grinding and pushing and going beyond. I mean, that's one of our foundational principles is to work harder because we tend, to err on the side of sloth. But it's not what's getting it done. So I've started to read and study other experts, gurus almost. And as I went through all their stuff, I'm realizing all of this worldly, guidance and advice and all of this, I keep using the phrase, the bill of goods that we've been sold. It just doesn't work. What the heck is going to help me get through that oppressive weight of feeling like I'm losing the full battle of life? And, like I said on Monday, it was funny. It should have dawned on me from the beginning, but after thinking about it and saying some prayers, my conclusions, I came to the conclusion that, look, only Jesus, right? Like, we have got, as warrior saints, to stop letting the things of the world guide us because they lead to dissonance, chaos, fear, indecision. They lead to hopelessness. And I have felt it and have been feeling it now for the last little bit. And so it was kind of a nice reminder for me that you can't just try to get better. You got to start new, baby. You need something new. There's got to be an opportunity out there that is new, that is fresh, different from all the crap you've been trying because it's not working, because the two stones that are squishing me are still squishing me, i.e. the garbage dump in Star Wars Episode 4, right? When Luke and company were getting mushed. It's not working. That stuff doesn't work. In fact, not to be too voodoo about it, but I really think the devil's pushing hard in this world to give us and contribute to those feelings and that sense of losing the battle. It's only through Christ, right? It's a Christ-like life. That's the only thing that's going to work. That's it. And you know it. You're watching me. You watch Greg because you know that. And so how do we do that? What do we have to do? What is it we have to do? I think the first thing, and it just, again, I came to the conclusion that the Word of God is the only source, the only plan. It's the path that God has set for us to help us overcome those feelings, to help us overcome that sense of despair or depression or anxiety or dissonance, whatever word you want to label it with. It's only by the Word of God, only by doing what He's asked us to do, commanded us to do really, that's going to help us realign ourselves, right? And that's something that very often is difficult. Look, I can't tell you how many people say, I want to read it, Father, but I don't get it. And also, here's an interesting one. I spend a lot of time talking with people who, because I'm a priest, they want to tell me their opinions of the Bible. And I love that they're reading it, but I'm like, oh, no, you missed totally, right? And other people tell me just flat out, I don't read it because I don't get it. I'm afraid of it. I don't get it. And so when we're not engaging with the Word of God, and forgive that term engage, but when we're not reading it and listening to what God has to say, it's impossible to hear His Word, which is the only thing that will help us overcome this chaos, right? And so look, I feel like if so many of us feel stuck, we've got to come to Christ, but you can't hide from it anymore, right? The world gives us tribulation, right? Jesus says, listen, we use this from John. We've been using it all week. I have said this, that in me you may have peace, which is what I'm seeking and don't have right now. In the world you have tribulation, and then Jesus says, but be of good cheer, I've overcome the world, right? And so that's where we've got to go. If you try to get through this life and navigate without doing it in a Christ-like fashion, you're going to lose, right? I'm losing right now, that's what I'm telling you. If you want to win and get over this stuff, you've got to know the Word of God so you can hear what Christ is telling. Because look, it's not like what you hear out there. It is not like what you hear out there. As I've gone through all of this study and reading and finding these tools to try to get through this battle I'm losing, none of it works. And it's completely, really self-focused, which is not what gets done. Christ's Word is entirely different. If you want to hear it so that you can change it, you got to do it, right? So, it's pretty simple. If you are ready to stop feeling like you're losing that battle of life, to get over those feelings of dissonance and despair and anxiety and all those things that so many of us feel, look, you've got to come to the Word of God. That's the source. It's radically different than what the world's telling you, but it's the only thing that works. And if you struggle with it, let us help you. Look, it's just, that's what we do. That's why we're here. That's why God put us on this earth. If you want a part of it, get a piece of it. Get understanding the Bible. Even better, get the bundle, because then you get a plan to go with it. So I'm pushing. We have worked hard and we've got something that's of value that can help you find that new opportunity and get through those feelings that we've been talking about. It's up to you now. You got to do your business. Love you. We'll be back tomorrow as always. Keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.